The most underrated show this season? How do you like watching an anime? Baki got a season 2. Hi, I'm Sam, your host. And with me, I have...
Your boy, it's Nathan.
We're going to talk about underrated shows this week's podcast. Do you have any underrated shows this season, Nathan?
For this season in particular? Yes, I do, actually.
Ooh.
I reckon level 1 Mao to 1 room Yusha is very underrated. You look at the front cover of it, you look at the description, you look at the tags, you're like, oh god, it's another one of these. All right, let's give it a go. And you watch it, and man, it's good.
Yeah, like for those who don't know what it's about, it's pretty much classic Demon Lord story at the beginning, where he's fighting like the Yusha and like the hero defeats the Demon Lord, and the Demon Lord swears that he's going to come back reincarnated in some sort of form. Like 10 years pass, and then we see the Demon Lord come back and then meet the Yusha, who's like in this miserable state now because society has forgotten about him since he's no longer needed. No, so it's more like a slice of life of them trying to figure out his new life. Help the Demon Lord helping the Yusha become like a formidable opponent again, so that the Demon Lord has something to look forward to in the future. So it's really quirky and fun.
It's actually really cute and how they've done it. To where you think like the Demon Lord's back and the hero, they're just going to fight again. No, not at all. It turned into almost like a slice of life of them two enjoying life together because they were each other's motivation in the day.
Yeah.
Demon Lord wanted to defeat the hero and his party. The hero wanted to defeat the Demon Lord, and now they're both kind of over it and just loving, vibing together. It's so cute. It's so good.
Yeah, and they have like these side characters that show up. And it's really like the side characters kind of make the show, because if it was just the two of them, it would be not that fun. But I think the Demon Lord has one of the Demon Lord's like assistant living with them in this like tiny apartment, so the dynamic is not just between the two of them.
An absolute needed character, because she's really strict and she likes to get drunk and naked, and it just adds that little bit of spice, a little bit of flavor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I compare it to like Devil's a Part-Timer.
Oh, before it went bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Season 1? Yeah. 100%.
Like season 1 of Devil's a Part-Timer, like the OG. Like they just come into like this new world where they're not familiar with like anything that goes around, and they have to find some way to make money and like survive. Like the comedic relief and not being so serious and like uptight, even though it has its like moments where it goes back to its roots of Yusha versus Demon Lord. But I can see like a lot of similarities in terms of like the humor and the way the show presents itself, like as a slice of life. I wouldn't even call it a slice of life. It's more like a comedy fantasy slice of life, like supernatural fantasy slice of life. So yeah, I'd compare it to Devil's a Part-Timer. If you enjoy that, you definitely enjoy this.
100%. I would compare it to, and I don't know if you watched this, but it's called I'm Quitting Heroing. It came out in 2022 in April last year, and it follows a very similar concept to where a hero defeated the Demon Lord and its army, and then the hero was no longer needed. The hero was hated by humans because he didn't have anything else to do. And then the hero joins the Demon Lord's party, like group, and tries to help them recover because he has nothing left to do. It's a similar vibe to where they defeat each other and then work together, kind of thing. What kept me with I'm Quitting Heroing and with level 1 Mao 1 room Yusha was it's not a new concept, but it's refreshing because you rarely see it. The seasons are oversaturated with the typical isekai of I got hit by a bus saving a girl that didn't need to be saved, and now I'm in a fantasy world and I'm really overpowered, and that's the story, which I'm a sucker for. I love it. I can't deny. I like it. The little teenage boy in me is just like, oh, I wish that was me. That's so cool. But on the other hand, I actually like from this point of view to where you've done a good deed and now they're both trying to live their lives as an adult together and figure it out, and I find that refreshing too.
Yeah, like this is like a different spin to the OP main character compared to your like general isekai, so it's definitely a different angle, but it's almost the same like power dynamic in terms of the main character is still hella OP.
One of the most relatable parts in level 1 Mao is the hero tries to make YouTube videos for money.
I mean, where have we seen that before, guys?
Hit that like button and subscribe, hit the bell, please.
Yeah, like and subscribe, boys.
No, highly recommend. It's a banger show. Really
Yeah,
good.
it's so good. No, so we've been watching anime like pretty much seasonally for the last couple of years. So do you prefer watching it week by week, or do you prefer someone like a Netflix coming in and dropping like the entire 12 or 24 episode and you're able to binge it in the next couple of days?
This is like the sub versus dub confrontation, the argument, the feud between you guys. So I prefer a little bit of both, but if I were to pick one, I would pick weekly, and there's a reason for it.
Ooh.
Because I watched I would say watching seasonal anime maybe last 20 years now, like non-stop. Because I watch so many shows at the same time, so every season minimum 20, maximum like 35 usually. I've got like 27 shows on at the minute this season. Because of that, and say they're all 12 episodes, right? That's 4 hours each times 27. Now, if they came out in one go, I don't have that time to watch that in one go. I don't. But what's a lot more manageable for me, like being a father and working full time, is 20 minutes here and there. Like, I watch anime every day. Might just watch one episode, might watch 3, but I can decide when I fit that in. It's not like, oh my god, I need to watch this anime, I need to clear 4 hours. Like, oh god. So I much prefer the weeklies, just like bite-sized chunks, but I don't dislike the other either because I've always got shows constantly going, so I'm always waiting for something to come out. But if then like a 12-episode banger just drops instantly, like Record of Ragnarok Season 2, when Netflix dropped that, it didn't matter because it was a weekend and I was already up to date on my weekly stuff and I watched it all in one go because I wanted to, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't want to mix of both, but I do prefer the weekly shows because they just seem easier to fit in.
Yeah, I guess that's true because I also prefer the weekly just because like it's more manageable. Like I'm already struggling to watch week by week like all the shows that I want to watch. But like I remember like the OG days when I first started watching anime, that I could like come back from like school and just watch like a whole season of a show and then go back to bed and then do the same thing the next day. And you can't really do that anymore with at least the newer shows. Maybe they could do a couple of shows every season where like they drop the whole season and like the rest of the anime is just like a weekly basis, and that would be like a good balance.
Yeah, I reckon some anime need it, but like throwback to Shiki, one of the best horror animes ever made, which Japan's not known for making good horror, I'll say it. That was such a slow burn, and imagine that weekly for 24 episodes, like the retention, you wouldn't bother. Like, this is so boring, why would I do this?
Yeah.
But sitting down, watching it all in one go, you're just like, wow, what a payoff. That was so worth it. And like, do you remember Katana Gatari? Where it was 1 hour episodes, but they released them once a month. So it was an anime for 12 months for the year, and you got an hour instead. So instead of having 4 episodes for 60 minutes, after the fact, I binged it, and I felt, obviously I can't comment to when it was weekly, but I really felt because I binged it, the story was better.
Yeah.
Because it was much more fast-paced, and I didn't have to wait a week and remember the names and the emotions and the characters and stuff. It was just all in front of me in one go. Another show that Netflix dropped, another anime that was just 12 episodes in one go, so this was something I would binge, and I did, which I didn't even know was coming out, was Son of the Ogre Baki Season 2. I was just scrolling on Netflix looking for something to watch, and I saw it pop up, and I was like, oh, I've already watched it. But then I forgot to see the little red thing in the corner saying new season, and I was like, what? Hang on. I had no idea. And it covered the Pickle Wars Saga arc, where this is spoilers for Baki Season 2, so just be warned. But it's basically, because Baki, how do I explain this? How do you explain Baki? Baki is nuts. Baki is absolutely crazy. You think JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is insane? You think that's insane? It's not. Like, Baki has no magic and stands, but it makes less sense, but it makes you feel like it means more. Like, so what happened was, there was this, back in the prehistoric era, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, there was a human that was fighting dinosaurs. So he was strong as hell, like vicious, all this. And then the meteor hit, and then they got frozen. And this character, which they called Pickle, because he was pickled in ice, was frozen mid punching a T-Rex, like fly kicking a T-Rex. So they brought him up to, They found him. They unfroze him with the T-Rex. The T-Rex was dead, but then Pickle survived and revived himself. And then all the fighters across Baki, so Yujiro and Hanayama and Baki and the Sea Kings, everyone had this fighter's urge to just know what it was to fight a prehistoric man, because he was insane. Like, Pickle's like 8 foot tall, insane physique. He has a mouth like teeth like a tiger, and like he can't talk, but he knows. It's just all male base urges, with good and bad. It's just, I can't. Baki has an amazing. It's one of the best like written story like shows ever, because it has this incredible way of making you actually believe something it can't physically be real. But you're watching it there, and they make up science for it, and you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It does not, but it makes you believe it. Like, an example for it is one of the head of the karate associations. He wants to learn how to punch at supersonic speed, and breaking the sound barrier, which you can't. No man can, but he does, because the way he does it is he gets a whip, and if you crack a whip, a real life whip, the end of it, that massive crack bang that you hear is actually the end of the whip breaking the sound barrier, because it's going so fast. And he's like, why don't I apply that to my body? Why don't I think that instead of my forearm having 2 bones in it, it's actually built like a spine, and when I thrust forward, I whip my arm, so then the end of my fist is supersonic speed, and he does it. And I'm just like, I totally believe that. It's impossible.
Dude, they pick up logic from other things and like put it onto like human boxing and human fighting, and they make it make sense. So I've only watched the first season of Baki, but oh my god, the first season was wild. So I just imagine the second season being like on caffeine, steroids, like heroin, all of that combined. Like, oh my god.
Man, it's nuts. And especially Yujiro, which is the ogre, which is Baki's father, which is actually the strongest man. He is so strong that apparently the United States of American president has to sign a waiver with Yujiro to allow him to do what he wants, because he could destroy the earth. Like, and then that scene in season 1 to where he's like, they call me the demon or something because his back muscles look like a devil's face. Like, what the fuck is this? It's so good.
It's so good. It's so good.
I will say though, the end of season 2, it did get a bit too, air quotes, Baki, as in like, Baki loves to explain stuff mid-fight, and up to like episode 8 or 9, it was actually pretty decent. It was pretty fast, and it was really interesting. But then, like, not too many spoilers, but the main fight at the end, it was basically like 3 episodes of them just talking and like barely any fighting, and I was like, fine, yeah, that's okay, I suppose. But considering like the first 2/3 of the show, it felt like it just like dropped the hype a bit, but still a 10 out of 10. Like, please, if you haven't, go watch it. It's pretty...
Thanks for watching our little anime chat. Catch you guys next week, and let us know how you watch your anime. Oh, and check out our anime shorts that we do every single day.
Every day, baby.
Bye bye.